Hey everyone. Okay, so a couple things. I'm standing underneath the light pole at the northeast corner of New Street and Water Street, and I'm looking up at the camera, looking over the intersection, and you see that little light in the center, that little lip. It indicates that's the lens, the bottom of the lens. So they moved the camera's direction. It's now looking over here at these steps. These steps are integral. I just came from Lizzie McNeil's pub. I'm gonna try and link all of these videos together. I talked to a guy there named Chris, and he told me that what they know is that Jussie did take a direct route. So he did come from here. And again, this is McClurg intersecting with this street here, which is Water Street. So this camera, even though now it's aimed at the steps, we know earlier it was aimed over here at those two men, those two persons of interest, who we are told just went through and then continued their walk. And I was told specifically by Chris inside of the Lizzie McNeil's, the two guys went down to the Riverwalk and they took a right. Well, we know that whole stretch is covered with cameras. So the city does have footage of those two individuals, regardless of whether they are persons of interest or the presumed attackers. So Jussie would have gone this way, and he would have went up these steps. And they're saying this is where, this is also again where they found the bottle of hot sauce. And they said, I was also talking to Chris, and he said there was a lot of gang graffiti. See this right here? He said what happens is this is a place where drug deals go down. And this is where people mark, this is how gangbangers, mark their turf, and this is a high rent area. So if you're seeing, I live in a place called Humboldt Park in Chicago. This stuff is everywhere. To see the stuff here means that indeed there's some shady stuff going on. So what if, let's just say he's coming back from Subway and he's talking to his friend that might sell drugs here. I'm just talking, presuming, or not, I'm just speculating. And the deal went bad, you know what I mean? They knew who he was, and for some reason they didn't like, this disagreement on the price or whatever, or some comment was made, and they're just like, forget it, like the deal didn't happen, it fell apart, and that's why they would have not thought anything of it, just to continue walking after the incident. And for them to just slug some guy and just whatever, it's nothing to them. And yeah, they would have cursed him out. If they knew he was Jussie, they would have mentioned, empire, and they would have insulted his sexuality and his race. I mean, they could have been people of color themselves. They didn't care, They're way more casual about those sorts of things, to like white, politically correct America, we're completely outraged by it, all of these things. I shouldn't say white, but people are just easily outraged, when you were just more well-heeled about these sort of things. But if you're at that level of where you're dealing drugs, you don't care. You just say what you say and you just keep it moving, So deal gone bad. Jussie got embarrassed, he got hurt, got a scratch on his eye, he had to give some sort of account for it. Maybe they did say this is MAGA country. I mean, these guys are creative, you know what I mean? So they would have had fun just poking at that, Maybe they didn't, but we also know that Jussie was on the phone with his manager. So all of this can be confirmed, right? That there's metadata that he was on the phone, and his manager could say, yeah, okay, he really was, buying some weed or whatever. That's quite forgivable. There's no big harm in that. I mean, who doesn't like, I mean, not that I smoke or anything. I don't. I haven't smoked pot in 20 years, but I know that people get the munchies, you know. So if you're trying to get in the mood, you're going a sandwich, you want a little of that, you know, fine, whatever. So this is all really interesting, you know. So I'm heading back to my bicycle. I'm gonna ride it home and have a little dinner. I just wanted to show you one last thing. I'm gonna double time. So here's the camera, right? I took a right here. So here's the camera as well. That would have got those persons of interest. So this would have been the field of view, you know, of those two guys that we saw initially. So are they just two homeless guys? Are they two, you know, drug dealers? Are they both? All right, peace out, everyone.